Hi, in the first part of our Bitcoin project, I had implemented a non-distributed aspect of the project that was transaction verification using public and private key mechanisms, and as well as ledger creation for a single block using the puzzle solving mechanism of finding four zeros in the beginning. Now, this part of the distributed aspect of the block of this whole system consists of receiving a block and seeing that if that particular block that I received is more competent than the blocks that I have in my own ledger system, or it can be added on my own ledger system. So over here, first I have to check whether the block I have received, that is over here, I have implemented a machine method that is receive block, and I check if that block is competent. Competency checks that whether that block can be put on a branch, branching as a branch node, a branch block inside my ledger, or it can be added up as a block on top of my current ledger. It also checks for the hash value or that the header contains pertaining to the previous block's header. So that if that matches, I'm able to put it on my own ledger. So these are the most important aspects of this thing. And if the competency fails, then that block is not then that block is not added into my ledger. So now the things after, if it's found competent, I need to add it in my ledger. So I need to update my ledger where I'm doing this here. I update my ledger. I add it as a either on top of the ledger, or I add it as a branch to my current ledger, till only the last five blocks of my ledger. Now the next thing is, if it's competent, that means like I have to update the transactions, because that new block may contain transactions I may be working on currently. So I need to update the transactions and improve upon the transactions that I should work on in the current block creation. So I do that here. So I remove the transactions that are in the current new block, and I update my transaction pool for working on creation of a new block. And after this, if the block is found competent, the third thing I need to do is I have to propagate the block. I propagate that block to other neighbors in my system. The system consists of a topology where it's a ring topology with an additional random edge connecting to a random neighbor in a random node inside my whole topology. So this is the way how exactly the distributed aspect of our system works.
Start. We have the Bitcoin project backend ready, and now we have integrated it into the Phoenix framework. Phoenix uses MVC architecture, and we have created a Bitcoin controller. So in this controller, we are telling the app to render a particular HTML page, and we have written multiple HTML page with custom graphs and codes, and these graphs will be showing in the UI in a short time. The data provided to these graphs is in Bitcoin view, and we have created methods in our backend code to fetch this data onto the front end. The router decides which URLs are valid, and we assign them to a controller and which method to call in the controller. Also, one thing is that we have started the Phoenix. When we start the Phoenix server, we have also started our backend application right there, so we don't need any other mechanism to separately start the backend. So let me just quickly walk you through the process. So now we have started the Phoenix server, and our nodes are starting, and transactions are being performed. So now our front end is starting, and let me just load up the landing page. Okay, so that's our landing page. We have created 6 useful charts, and I'll quickly walk you through, say, the ratio of the bitcoins amongst nodes in the system. So there are multiple nodes having bitcoins in the system, and this is how their ratio looks like. So it is an incremental donut chart, and it will keep all going till 100 nodes. Another one, let's see the number of bitcoins in the system. So these bitcoins, let's generate this, and as you can see, this will also show what number of bitcoins each node has. And one more functionality is generate more transactions, so that we can get an updated data view. So we click on it, and few transactions are being performed right now, and we can go back to any of the graphs and see the updated data there. So yeah, and if you want, that's all our web interface for this Bitcoin project.